I'll start now. Okay, so first foremost, I want to say to thank you for your taking time to join in our webinar today to learn how to run data visualization and statistical testing using the Minitab statistical software. So I want to say sorry if let's say my voice is not so okay today, but we try to do the best for today's webinar. So I'm Noor Sulawati. I'm the technical support specialist at Bizit Systems. Bizit Systems are independent, local, and representation for Singapore, Malaysia, and Batam, Indonesia. If you are the first timer joining our webinar, this webinar not so comprehensive since only 1 hour with us. To gain more for every topic your interest, we recommend to joining our training. So it will be more comprehensive rather than this webinar. Okay. So a few housekeeping notes before we begin. We have a Q&A session after the presentation. So please submit any question you have and we will do our best to answer them. Or if have a time, if no, we will answer afterwards by email. So we recommend viewing this webinar in your laptop or PC for the best result. So please fill out our survey before you exit the tab. This survey will help us to improve the quality of our upcoming webinar. So we record this webinar and upload to our website www.bizit.com and our YouTube channel Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. So there's no problem if you miss anything or want to review afterwards. So now Minitab already more than 50 years in market. So Minitab not only have a Minitab statistical software for today focus, but we have our 5 others product as well. We said we have a Minitab Connect for data transformation and the dashboard. So we have a software predictive modeler for machine learning and predictive analytics. So now some of these algorithm inside the SPM, software predictive and modeler, now available in Minitab statistical software. We have a module like predictive analytics. So we also have the quality trainer. It's an online training, consists of few models like statistical inference, regression, statistical quality control, DOE, and so on. So Minitab Engage is something like for addition execution project, and Minitab was basically for visualized tools template like VSM, brainstorming, fishbowl diagram, something like 5Y, something. If let's say you will go more for the lean tools, so you will able to see all that in the Minitab workspace. But today we focus on Minitab statistical software, our flagship product. But if let's say you interest further to know others product, please let we know. We can provide demo on that. Okay, so Minitab statistical software is a software package for statistical analysis. So variety of statistical tools are available right now in Minitab statistical software. This software, it will be more powerful statistical software since everyone can use, whether you are statistician or non-statistician. I think most of us, our user is coming from the engineer, okay, manager and so on, and then maybe not so pure statistic, okay, but they will use the Minitab statistical software, okay. Okay, so for starting with the Minitab 19, I think Minitab now you have a 2 version. We have a desktop apps and web apps. So I'm not sure you already try it or not on these web apps. Okay, for those already try, I would say a good job. And then maybe you can share your experience when you open the web apps, or you try with a web app with us in the chat box. If let's say it's okay, it's not okay, so you can share with us in the chat box maybe. For those not yet tried, I will show today to access these web apps. The functionality is almost same as per desktop app, but have a few features, maybe not similar as per desktop app. So let's retry, okay? So this web app seems like Google's, something, your social media. So you need to open the Minitab portal. So you need to sign your email. For example, my email is here, okay? I use for this, and then you go for the, so this is, okay. So I need go for the sign in, okay? You need go for your email, your password, and then click sign in. So once you open the Minitab portal license, and then you will see the Minitab Statistical software. So you go for the Minitab Statistical software. So for example, here I have two user, but I just want to, you go for the open web apps. Okay, you go for the open web apps. So you will see the interface is the same like the desktop apps. Okay, it's the same like the desktop app. Okay, so you will have a navigator, we have the worksheet, and then we have the output pane, and then the menu here also the same. Okay, but I think if let's say you ask me, okay, I honestly like this search button. For example, I want to create the histogram, so I just grab in this one. Okay, so maybe I type in the search button and then go directly to the dialog box for the histogram. Maybe this one will help you save your time, okay, to get the tools, or to get the dialog box what you want. Since in Minitab we have a lot of the tools available. Okay, so maybe if the traditional way you go for this graph, go for the histogram. But if let's say you're using the web app, maybe you can go for the search, okay, histogram, okay, histogram, and then you will be open the dialog box directly. So maybe the one is one of the thing you might be try the web apps, okay. So the others, it will be the same. Okay, maybe the difference say here is maybe you can go for the file, a new, and then for your information now if let's say you save it, your data set in the OneDrive or Google Drive, so you can directly open in this worksheet. Okay, so the same, go for the file, open, so you can open the project file and then so on. Okay, so this one is the how to open the web apps. Okay, so hopefully after this webinar, you will try it. Okay. Okay, actually for the web app, once you purchase a new one, you will able have a two, desktop and then web apps. Okay. So here the example, those are available in Minitab Statistical software. I think if let's say you are already a long time to use the Minitab, so you will see the quality side is the measurement system analysis, your control chart, your probability analysis, your acceptance sampling. And then we also have something like for the product development, DOE, or your power and sample size. And then new things for the power and sample size. Minitab added new module for the power and sample size. It will use simply step to get it for the power and sample size. I think most of us always come to mind, okay, how many sample we need to take it to further this analysis and so on. Okay, so and then we have for business analytics. Okay, we have a correlation, we have the statistical modeling. So I think for those are already the old user, okay, maybe cut is the new for you. Okay, we have the time series and then we have the visualization for today. Okay, we enhance more on this visualization. And then we have the process validation, we have the process design, we have the process qualification, and then we have continued process validation. But I just want to stress here, the sequence of this one is not like this in sequence. Okay, where you will get all this those available in Minitab. Maybe the measurement system analysis in the step menu for the quality and go for the measurement system analysis. Okay, so for the testing, maybe you will go for the basic statistic, and then will you see the hypothesis testing and so on. Okay. So since we have a complete tool for analysis, so our customer coming from various of sector, including manufacturing itself, and then maybe from the services, maybe from the academician and so on. But our customer not limit for the MNC. We have SME customer also use the Minitab statistical software. Okay. So our agenda today to focus the graph and statistical testing. So hopefully in 1 hour, okay, we can finish all this agenda. So we look on the graphical analysis or the other term, we say that is a visualization. And then we try with to display only one, okay? Maybe you have a 2 variables, or maybe you have more than more than one variables. I think nowadays you collect your data by using the sensor or by the smart tools. So where you have a lot of data set, okay? So maybe in only using the one, something like histogram is not so good. Maybe you have to add something like parallelogram or maybe a heat map and so on. And then we go for the statistical testing, okay? But today I not go for so further for the statistical testing. Maybe for the statistical testing, actually you need to have only one day to cover all these things. I will go for the one separate test, and then we go for the one-way ANOVA. Okay, and then we go for the assistant. Okay, so let's begin for this one. So understanding the visualization as a vocabulary of the statistical analysis are important if you are using data to drive decision. I think you go where you from the expert one or beginner or whatever classes or training you go, we are always start our statistical analysis with the visualization, but the type of the graphical, it will depends on this one. Okay, maybe you want to look on the exam, the compare distribution. You want to look to the centered or symmetrical, or you want to look on the distribution. So maybe the type of this objective, we can go, you can using the histogram. Maybe you can go for the dot plot. Maybe you can go for the PP plot or probability plot. So we have a lot type of the chat for this one. Or maybe you have your data like in days, in minutes, in year, in months. So you can go for the time series, or maybe you can go the area graph and many more for this one. And then maybe after you know your variables or your problem, maybe you want to see the relationship between your variables. Okay, so maybe you have a two relationship, only two. Maybe you can go for the scatter plot, or maybe you have a more than one. Okay, maybe you can go for the bubble plot. Okay, you something like we have only 2 dimension. Okay, x-axis, y-axis. Maybe you can look on the scatter plot. But now you have a lot of data. Maybe you can go for the 3 dimension. Let's say you have a x-axis, y-axis, and then z-axis. So z-axis maybe you can go for the bubble plot for this case. Okay, and then you want to compare or summarize or individual values of a variable. So maybe you can go for the box plot, your interval plot, your parallel coordinate plots, and more. So I think in Minitab, in the graph menu, almost 25 type of the chat are available in Minitab currently. Okay, but it will depends on this your objective. Okay, not like say, okay, this data you need go for the histogram. No need. If let's say you want to go others type, is it will okay. Okay, this one is not find out the wrong or right. It will solve your problem for this case. Okay, so we try with this one. Okay, with this Pareto chart. Okay, I think most of our quality practitioner start their analysis with the Pareto. This Pareto easily help us to find out the most frequent. For example, you look on the defect, you look on your problem, you look on your complaint, and so on. For example, here, I think I like it, this Pareto chart. If let's say they arrange for you from the biggest to smallest, and then they will combine the two axes. This one is the percentage, and then this one is your frequency. If a cumulative frequency. So in one graphical, you will see two information. Okay, is a percentage, and then is a percentage, and then you will see the frequency. So in the Pareto chart, the other thing is we using the 80-20 rules. Okay, so 80% of the problem coming from 20% of the causes. Okay, so I think I go to the Minitab. Okay, this data set. Okay, so probably it's the same navigator, output pane, your worksheet. Okay, so maybe in one project file you have a lot. We have something simple improvement, but I think if let's say you face it with the multiple worksheet, will help you more. You go for this button, this icon, and then maybe you can go for the film flow. So we'll open the worksheet. If let's say you go for the centric, so we'll go directly. No need go. No need to scroll up, scroll down for this down. Find the others worksheet. So you go for this icon, and then you try with this pane flow. So once you open this worksheet, you open the worksheet. So how to get it the Pareto? So Pareto is not in the graph menu. Pareto inside the stat menu. Go for the stat, go for the quality tools. Okay. And then you go for the Pareto chart. Since Pareto chart is one of the quality tools, 7 basic quality tools, is it? So you can go for the flows for this case. Okay, you have flows, type of the flows, the pane flow of flows for the automotive. Okay, so for this case, you just click OK. Now you will get the Pareto. Okay, I will go for the stat, quality tools, Pareto chart. And then maybe you can go for this. Maybe you want to go for more option for this case, or maybe you want to see the variables. Since we have others variables here by the shift, so you go for the by the shift. Okay, and then you click OK. So you see others information you will get. Okay, this one is a shift day, this one is evening, this one is a night, and then this one is a weekend. So you will compare all this type of the flow. So you maybe can see this one is the original one without shift, okay, without others one. But now you want to look more details for this Pareto chart by the shift. So based on this one, 80-20 rules, you can see that the pale, the stretch type, and the others we most important contribution to this defect. Okay, so the one you will find out how to interpret the Pareto chart. Maybe you look on the pale. So from this pale, maybe you go for the next stages, find out how to measure it, the pale. Maybe you have a device or you have a measurement on the pale. So you go for the fishbone diagram and so on. So this one is how the quality practitioner use the Pareto chart to solve their problem. So if let's say you have a lot of complaint, okay, so a lot of complaint here. So you want to find the most complaint, you need to go for the project improvement, something like one. So you can start with the Pareto chart. So one key here, if let's say your data, your variables is something categorical, so it might be go for the Pareto chart. Okay, or maybe before this you go for the bar chart. So I think if let's say you look more comprehensive, okay, so you go for the better go with the Pareto chart. Okay, so we go for the next one is the visualization. Another visualization is histogram. Okay, so I think most of you already know about the histogram. What we can get is from the histogram. But I think the best thing for the histogram is to know your distribution. Okay, must know it's a normal distribution or other distribution like variable or something like one. Before you go further, how to know the normality testing, how to use. So maybe you can see on the histogram first. Okay, so I think I go for this data set. Okay, the brightness data set. Okay, so I go for the full brightness data set. This data set is consist of 9 variables. So we look on the brightness. So maybe our brightness is our predictor, our interest path. Okay, so we want to see on the, is it this brightness is a normal distribute? I want to see the center, the spread, okay, the skewness and so on. So we go for the graph, go for the histogram. Okay, so for this case, I want to just go for the simple and click OK, and then the brightness here. So I look on the brightness. So I choose the brightness and then you click OK. So now you will get the histogram. Okay, you will get the histogram. So no worries, let's say you go for the simple one without the fit. So you just only to editing, you just double click. Okay, double click, right click. Maybe you can add the, maybe here is a distribution fit. You will look on it. Okay, so maybe here go for the normal, or you have a other distribution you want to see, click OK, and then you click OK. Now they will get the fit distribution for this case. Or maybe you don't want to see the default by this color, just double click. Okay, double click. Maybe you can go customize. For this case, maybe I want to see the purple color. Okay, and then click OK, and then click OK. So only double click. Okay, double click. Maybe you can go for the right click. Okay, to get it or to customize your chart. Okay, for example, maybe you want to see on this, the one this title. Maybe you want to see on the brightness of white. Okay, so something that one. Okay, so you can adjust this one. Click and click OK. So we'll see. It's I think it's easy to handle it. Okay, so no need go back to this. I want to see on this line, but no need go for the graph, histogram, and then you to choose or rerun. You to choose the fit with the fit. So no need. You just go for this one. Double click, right click, add what this new one. Maybe you want to see on the reference line. Okay, so the Y here, maybe I don't want is a C. Maybe here is a maybe 73. Okay, click OK. Then click OK. Maybe your spec or something that one. So you want to compare with your targeting or something that one. So you can add, right click and then add for this case. Okay. So we'll go for the another visualization. After you know about your distribution for this thing, the brightness is the peak of the brightness is 80 to 88. So most of the maybe average in within this value. Okay, 80 to 88. And then the spread of this brightness is between 60, the minimum number, up to the maximum number for this case. So the spread of this one. Okay, so if let's say we go for the feet, I think it's not so not normally distribute. Maybe because the was is skewed, okay, skewed to the right. Okay, the mean, the mode, the median is will me not consist on equal number. Okay, it is skewed to the right or skewed to the left. Okay. After that, we go for the others variables. Okay, this visualization, we call it, this one is a variability chart. Okay, this one is also something good if let's say you want to see or look on the variation. Okay, so to identify the source of our variability. Okay, for this case, we have a one case study here. So engineer wants to assess the effect of sinteric time on the compressive strength of the three different metals. So they will have a different assess the sinteric time is the our at the strength is our Y. They will consist of others variables is sinteric time and then the metals. In the metal, they will have a different metals. The sinteric time also they have a different level for the sinteric time. So they want this one want to visualize this. Okay, what if let's say the sinteric time is a bigger at the highest level, the meter is the lowest level. What happened to the our strength? So you can look on the variability chart. Okay, so I think I go for this variability chart. Okay, so I go back to this worksheet. Okay, I go for the sinteric worksheet. Okay, I go for the sinteric worksheet. So I have a sinteric time, which is we have 100, 100, 150, and 200. And then the method type, we have type 1, type 2, and type 3. And then our Y is our strength. We want to look on this strength. So how to get it, the variability chart? Variability chart is not in the graph menu. You can go for the stat menu. Go for the quality tools. You can see the variability chart. Okay, so you go for the variability chart. Okay, for example, here our response is a strength. Okay, and then our factor here is a centric type and the metal type. So if let's say you have a more than 1, so this factor you will see up to 8 factor you will include in this value. Okay, and then you click OK. Now you will get the variability chart. So in this variability chart, you can see that the highest variability is coming from the metal type 2, and then the sintry is a 150 for this case. So we're coming from this. Maybe you can see on the lowest one is coming from the metal type 1, and then your sintry is the highest level is 200. So you can see the line of this variability. So this one is the mean. Okay, the highest color is the mean. Okay, in the mean of this group. Okay, maybe after you get it, the variability chart, you can further for testing. Okay, you want to see the differences. Okay, is it have a differences between the centric time, lowest, and with the highest one. Okay, so maybe you can go for the hypothesis testing, like the to test or sample t-test or z-test or pair t-test and so on. So that one is you need to go further for this case. Okay, so how to get it? I go back to the stat, go for the quality tools, you choose the variability chart. So you can get this dialog box, include the response, your factor, and then you click OK. So will you get the variability chart? Okay, interesting. You go for this, start with the Pareto chart. After that, you go for your know about the spread or distribution of your predictor or your factor, okay, your parameter. And after that, you look on this variability. Is it coming from the others have a significant difference? So let's say you have other interest on this one, you need to further with the hypothesis testing. Okay, so in visualization stages, you can see have a differences, but to confirm it, is it have a differences or not? So you will able go for the statistical testing for this case. Okay. So hopefully you will try after this. Okay. Variable chart, histogram, and then variability chart. Okay. So we go for the others visualization are available in Minitab. Okay. Because I think most of us, let's say something like, see, okay, you want to see the graph, so you can go for the graph menu, no need. If let's say you want to see on the variability chart, you need to go for the step menu. I will try give it you some tips, okay, to enhance your ability to see more on this useful tools available in Minitab statistical software. Okay, so after you know your distribution, your predictor is something like it's not distributed, maybe you want interest about the relationship between the factor. So with your predictor, so something that one user response, your parameter, something that one you want to see on the scatter plot. So if you want to see, look on the relationship, maybe you can go for to the scatter plot. Okay, so we'll see the engineer wants to determine whether a relationship exists between the brightness and production rate. So we go for that. I think I will use the same full bright. Okay, just now where brightness we create the histogram from the brightness. So we want to look on the production rate. So production rate be our factor. Is it have a relationship with the our brightness? So only two okay, consists two variables. Maybe you can go for the graph, go for the scatter plot. Okay, with simple one, and then you click OK. Okay, so for this case, our Y is the brightness. Y is our response. So X is our is a production rate. And then maybe you can click OK. So we will get the scatter plot. Okay, so based on this scatter plot, you can see that I think it's not normally distributed. Okay, not linear relationship between the production rate and the brightness itself. Okay, so maybe you want to see on this one, right click, add the same, right click, accept a regression fit. Okay, so you can see the quadratic, maybe click OK and then click OK. So it's not the straight line it will be formed. This one is the quadratic. It's a non-linear relationship between the brightness and production rate. Okay, so maybe you not go for the something like y equal to bx plus c. Maybe you can go for the others equation for this case. Okay, so the same double click, right click, and then you go for the additional one. And then the others available features in the scatter plot is something we call it brushing. Okay, it's something, sorry, it brush. Okay, you can brush it, your point. So you want to see more on this one. Okay, you want to study more on this. Let's say you have something like reference line. Okay, you want to see on this one. Okay, maybe you have others one. So you can see that the brightness and the production rate. Once you brush your point plot in the scatter plot, you will see this point in your worksheet. Okay, so maybe you want to add additional one. So maybe you can go for this one. Okay, so you can see on this one. Or maybe you have something like you want to see others variables. Okay, maybe you can see on this. Okay, I want to look on the, is it the discharge pH. Okay, and they click OK. Okay, so you can see that, okay, this section, okay, maybe go for this one. Okay, this one is coming from the discharge 7.4 pH. So maybe you want to look on this, okay? You consider this one is maybe outliers, okay? Maybe this one outliers. Oh, okay, this one is coming from the same group. Maybe you want to see on this one, okay? Go more further for this case. Okay, this one is a variability. Okay, sorry. This one is a variability. not only on the pH 7. Have a consist of the from the acidic or natural for this case, and then so on. Okay, so you can get more on this brushing. Okay, brushing. Okay, so for this case, you will see more on these features for this case. Okay, so if let's say you will look on this, maybe you can further for analysis something like, okay, this one is not linear relationship. Okay, so maybe you then cannot go further a regression with the linear fit. Maybe we have the others method for this case. Okay, to know about this. Okay, so we go for another graphical. Okay, so I think I already put this one. So I think brushing is a good one to get some information before you go further for others analysis. Okay, we try for this case. Not only for the scatter plot, we have for the others graphical. Okay, so but brushing is not available in histogram. Because Instagram, we long look on the distribution, not look on the something like outliers, something want to the grouping, you know. No, so for the brushing, it's not available on the histogram. Okay, but the other dot plot, box plot, your bar chart, your pie chart, your area chart, your run chart, your PPP plot is available brushing. The features brushing in the Minitab statistical software. Okay. So no worries, we have other tips to trip. Okay, so the first pages I show, we have a 4 or 5 why we need to use the visualization for what. Okay, to distribution or to what. So we have additional tools. We call it the graph builder. Graph builder is a good one. Okay, I will open the graph builder. So you will see the graph builder. Okay, so the graph builder available in graph menu. Okay, so you go for the graph builder. You see, it's a good. Okay, so for example here, I want to see on the brightness. I just try. Okay, I just try. Graph builder is a good if let's say you have a lot of variables. Okay, so you can see on this one. This one is the available graph in this one, same as a graph menu in the graph menu. It's the same. Okay, it will be the same. But the thing here is you can go for the all graph. Maybe you just want to look on the distribution of data set. So only graph for to see on the distribution are available in this panel. For example, you don't want to look on the distribution of data, but you want to look on the variables over time. So only suggestion is the time series with the stacked area graph. So this function you want to see on the relationship only type of the box plot, interval plot, is the individual plot or stacked graph is available for this. If let's say your objective want to find the relationship between variable. So any others word in the graph menu, okay, in the graph menu, graph builder will summarize to you what one you want to see on the visualization, what you want to look at. Okay, for this thing, maybe you can look for the brightness, and maybe you want to look on all this one. Okay, all this. Okay. Okay, so maybe you can see on this one. You can select all this one. Okay. See on this. You can see after you select all in these variables, so you will see the graph will change, okay, based on this one. Okay, for this case, maybe you want to see on the brightness I already put. So here maybe you want to see the relationship. Okay, the relationship between all this one. Okay, so you can see, or maybe you can see on the metric plots. Okay, you want to look on the metric plot. Maybe you can go for the parallelogram. Create this one. So you interest with this one. So in the parallelogram is something like since they will give you the correlation here with the color coding. So the red color here is a more highest positive relationship. This one is the blue color here is a highest negative relationship. They will provide you the correlation. Maybe you are interested on this one. Okay? Maybe you can create on this. So we will get the correlogram. Okay, so you can see on this production and the brightness, we are the highest correlation between the brightness and production. But maybe the caustic is the weak, okay, weak of the negative relationship between the brightness and caustic. And then the H2O is lower, okay, it's a lower relationship between the brightness and H2O. But how to, the one is we call it eye chart. Okay, eye chart. If let's say this one you want to customize not only on this, maybe you can go for this icon. Okay, you can go for this icon. So you will see data representation. Maybe you want to display the correlation value. So you just click here. Okay. So for the eye chart, actually you can customize it. You can customize it. Okay, you can customize it also, but need use this icon. Okay. Meanwhile, for the all chart like histogram, so you need to double click on the chart to customize it. But if let's say you go for the eye chart, so you can see the icon here to customize it. For this case, we put the P value here the correlation value here for each correlate with this one. So more interesting part you will get. Okay, maybe for those already always say that okay, R is equal to 0 is a no correlation. Okay, R equal to 1 is high correlation between two variables here. Okay, so in the scatter plot, maybe you can see only one variables. But if let's say you want to see more than one, so you will go for the parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram available in the graph builder or in the graph menu inside the parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram for here. The same. Okay, the dialog box also the same for this case. Okay, so you will see the same thing for this. Okay, but this one is a good if let's say you have a lot of variables. Okay, for this case, rather than you go one by one, or rather you go for the metric plots. Okay, this option is a real good because this one is the color coding for this case. Okay, easily to get information. Okay, and then we have a parallelogram here, and then we have another way is a heat map. Heat map is something like you have a categorical data set. Okay, not the continuous data set. Continuous means that it's a measurement, it's a numbering. But categorical is something like text, frequency, something that one. So you can go for the heat map. If let's say you have more than two variables or categorical data set, so you able to go for the heat map. I the first time see the heat map is not so new. Okay, it's not so good for me lah for the first time. But after I get it, I need to face it with the a lot of variables. Okay, a lot of variables. Okay, a lot of variables. I need to compare this one. So if let's say I go for the bar chart, will give not a safe time to get the information. So for example, you have monthly here, you have the region, you have the age and inspection. So your aim want to show the higher infection is coming from where? From what months, what region, what age of the range for the highest infection, of the lowest infection, or so on. So it will something like, maybe you can go for the cluster, okay, cluster bar chart. Okay, but you need to have something cluster, you have a two or something different. But the one is a more we call it the more easy. Okay, so how to get it? Go to the graph, maybe go for the heat map. So if let's say you see heat map also in one group of the bar chart. Okay, it's a one group of the bar chart. So go for the heat map. For this case, maybe you go for the counts. Okay. Okay, for this case, maybe you want to do variables infection. Here, maybe you can go monthly. Okay. The region. Okay. Maybe go for the age, something like that one. Okay. So it will depends on you how to get it this one. Okay, sorry for this case functioning. Sorry, for this case is a graph infection. Maybe you want to see on the sum. Okay, the sum, not the mean. So for this case, maybe you go for the region. Okay, region and age. Okay, so maybe here is a column. Maybe you can go for the months. Sorry. Okay, and then you click OK. So you will see this one. So based on this, the highest infection is coming from April months. It coming from the northwest, and then it's coming from the 50 and oldest year. So in one clip, in one graphical, you will see the information. You will get the information. Okay. So if let's say you will look on the less number for this case, this west is a January and February. Okay. If from the region west is a 0 infection. So maybe you can see on the distribution and so on for this case. So in one graph, you will be able to summarize a lot of the variables. Okay, so you will get this one. So maybe after this, you will try for this, for the monthly. But for parallelogram, heat map, in fact, heat map, and then we have the parallel. That one is more for the big data set, or you have a lot of a predictor, or you have a lot of data set. Something in this one. Okay, you have a lot of this. If let's say infection here, you can go for the worksheet information. So you see the count of this one. Okay, so you have a go. If let's say you have a big data set, you can go for the eye chart. Okay, we call it the eye chart here. Okay, so this one is a visualization. And then we go for another stages here, as we call it the statistical testing. So this one is want to decide something like who is a better supplier, supplier A or B, or who is the best sellers, person A and person B, something that when you want to make it the decision. Okay, so you want to make the decision. So in the statistical, we call it when it's a hypothesis testing. So hypothesis testing is specific whether you want to accept or reject a claim about the population depending on the evidence provide a sample. So maybe you can go for the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. So for the null hypothesis, there is something like you want to testing. It's have no effect or no differences. But for the alternative hypothesis is statement, you want to able to conclude, is it true based on the evidence provided by the sample? Okay, and then no worries. Minitab will summarize for you. Is it this why I need to use the t-test? A lot of question for the technical part is what the best, okay, hypothesis testing to use for this case. So in Minitab, they summarize for you. They will give it the 3 diagram for you. So if let's say you want to look on the one sample of target, so you can look on the one sample t-test or two sample standard deviation. Maybe you can go for the chi-square and so on. Or maybe you want to see on the compare to sample with each others. You can go for the 2 sample t-test, pair t-test, and so on. And then if let's say you have a more than one, so you can go for the one-way ANOVA. This one is available in Minitab statistical software, but that one available in the assistant. So you go for the assistant, you go for the hypothesis testing. So no need to drop down how to the gate. So they will give it you this one. So for example, here you want to look on the how me choose. What mean by how me choose? You can click on here. So this one is continuous. Okay, what is the data type here? They will give it you information on this one. So you will see the mean. Okay, what you want to compare it, mean versus target or standard deviation versus the target. So you need to compare for this case. And then maybe you can go back to this one. Maybe you want to see on the one-way ANOVA. Okay, so in one-way ANOVA, maybe you can go for this. Okay, we go back to the assistant. Have testing, help me choose. Okay, so one way for what you want to compare. What is mean more than 2 means, more than 2 standard deviation. So this one, they will give it you the information on this. All these are available in hypothesis testing. So no worries, no need to open your notes or whatever. So you can go for the assistant, go for the hypothesis testing. So you can see on this one. Or maybe you go for the stat and then go for the basic statistic. And then you can look on the hypothesis testing for here. Okay. So whether you can go for the assistant or you can go for the basic stat menu. Basic statistic, go for the stat menu here. Okay. So we look on one word here. Okay. One example here. A healthcare consult wants to compare the patient satisfaction rating of a 2 hospital. Okay, the consultant collect rating from 20 patients for each hospital. So they want to see the comparison with the 2 hospitals, which is hospital A and hospital B. They will have the rating of each hospital. So there is collect rating from 20 patient for each hospital. So hospital A have a 20, hospital B also have 20. So for this case, maybe the best thing will use the 2 sample t-test. Okay, so 2 sample t-test, want to compare 2 sample. Hospital A, hospital B. So the best, maybe you can go for the 2 sample t-test. Okay, so I open this one. So I use this. I want to see on the hospital comparison. Okay, so the rating and then the hospital A and hospital B. So for each hospital, they collect 20 patients for this. So they want to see, is it have a differences between hospital A and hospital B rating? Okay, so we'll go for the stat, go for the basic statistic. Maybe you can go for the 2 sample t-test. For this case, it's our sample, it's a rating. Okay, it's a measurement, it's a numeric. And then for the sample ID, it's something like text or group or something. That one is a hospital. Maybe you can go for the option. Okay, maybe what, no need, you don't want 95%. Maybe you have others one. Okay, and then maybe you want to see additional one with the graph or box plot, something. Click OK, and then click OK. You will see the hypothesis testing for this case. No need to put down. Minitab will provide to you. This one is the hypothesis, null hypothesis, alternatives. Okay, so they will give it you the equal and assume this one, and then this one, and then you look on the p-value. So based on the p-value is a less than 0.05, so mean that is significant. So the one is the reject hash now, and then they will have a difference, have a differences between 2 hospital. Hospital A have differ with the rating hospital B. So they will give it you this p-value. Maybe you compare with your alpha. Okay, and then you will see, is it a accept or reject for this hash alternative here. And then they provide you the box plot for this case. Okay, so they will have another way. Okay, hypothesis testing maybe is appropriate for you. Okay, you not only to compare, not only to group. Okay, for this case, to have a hospital A, hospital B. Maybe you want to see on more than 2. So if let's say you have a hospital C, hospital A, hospital B, hospital C, so you need to go for the one-way ANOVA. Okay, one-way ANOVA is the of a 2 or more group differ. I think most of cases, the real cases, they were using the one-way ANOVA to compare more than 2 group of this one. So in a one way, maybe you have something question something, a decision you need to see are the mean strength of the plastic sample from the 4 supplier statistically different. See, supplier A, B, C, and D, is it have differences? So something that one, your question, so you will see or you will use the one-way ANOVA for this case. But since one-way ANOVA is a statistical tools, so you need to look on the, we call it the comparison, the residual plot. Have an assumption. So you need to have an assumption here. So you need to look on the must be, residual must be, normal distribute, okay? And then your is constant, okay? Your versus fit with the fitted value is a constant. And then your versus order with versus the observation order must be independently. Okay, so whatever for this, okay, you can see on this one way. I think I opened the Minitab group, okay. So I go for the last roundness, okay. So we have a fixture, here's more than 2. We have a 2 group for the fixture, and then our roundness here is our Y or our response here. You want to see, is it have differences between different feature here? Okay, between the roundness. So how to get it, the ANOVA? You can go for the go for the ANOVA, and then you choose the one-way ANOVA. If let's say you see a lot of type of ANOVA here, but today, one-way ANOVA means that only one response, but you have a different group. So you can go for the one-way. So the roundness here, our response, your fixture, and then maybe you go for the more, assume this one-sided or two-sided. You can go for the comparison. I go for the 2Ks, and then maybe you can go for the result. Okay, what kind of result? Maybe you can go for the graph. Okay, for this case, I choose the 4-in-1. Click OK, and then you click OK. So we will see the one-way ANOVA. The same, they will state your null hypothesis. Okay, and then they will give you ANOVA, analysis of variance. Want to look, you look on this p-value. So based on this one, is less than 0.05 also. Have a significantly different between the fifth element level 1 to 3. So what? Okay, have a differences. So you need to go further. For this case, for one sample, you have differ only. Okay, different, that's stop. But for one way, maybe you look more. So after you see have a significant difference, have a differences. But what group have differences? Is it feature 1 with the versus feature 2 or feature 2 versus feature 3? So you need to go further. Maybe you can go for the 2K pairwise comparison. So most of us using the pairwise comparison. Okay, and then if let's say you see on this one, there's a group feature 2 and 1 is a grouping B. This one is the feature 3. So that one have a differences between this one. So if let's say you want to see further, so you go for this group information. We will get from the ANOVA. If let's say you have more than 3, 3, 4, 5, and so on, so more comparison you will get for this case. Okay, so you can see the 2K simulation and so on. But in the Minitab actually not only consists of the comparison for the 2K. Maybe your previous, your standard one or from your SOP using the feature, so you can go for the feature. Or maybe you can go for the net or HUSMCB, this one. Okay, so the same you can go for this case. Okay, so another thing, no need go for the stat menu or something. Maybe you can go directly to assistant. Hypothesis testing. Okay, maybe you have the one-way ANOVA. For this case, is our Y is the roundness. Okay, sorry. Okay, in one column. So our Y is the roundness. Our X is the feature. Okay, so you click OK. So you will see on this one have this. I think a lot of us using the assistant because this do the means differ. This one is a yes. Okay, so which is with a differ group, where is what group is a differ? This one. Okay, and then they will give you the mean comparison chart, and then they will comment for this case. No need worries. If let's say you have more additional one, you just double click and then you can customize it for this case. Okay, you have other information you want to put in this report. Click OK, and then click OK. So you will see, and then the others diagnosis report, they will see, and then the power report. Okay, how many sample they will see on this one, and then they will have the report card. So actually, the information it will be the same. Okay, based on the stat menu with the assistant menu, but the assistant menu they will help you already put how to we call it how to do the reporting. They help you on that thing. How to we look on this one, they give it you something that one. Okay, but not all the in the tab menu are available in the assistant. Just for currently, is the most tools are available in the assistant menu. Okay, but some information will give the result will give the same different presentation only. Okay, so no worries, the same. Say you go for the histogram, maybe you want to see, right click, and then you can go send to Word, send to PowerPoint. You can copy, and then you can go for the Word Mini. But starting with the Minitab 20, okay, you can create the report. Okay, I think the old version 18 we do, 90 we remove, and then we go back to the send to the report back. So you can go for the report. So you can customize the report before you share to the other team or something that one. Okay, so we have see. So you see right click, send to the report. So they will send as is, click OK. So they will send to the report on this one. So in the report, actually you can add you said the intonation and so on. So they will customize it for you. Okay, so more comprehensive maybe. Okay, for this case. Okay. Oh, I think that's more. Okay, I think I already put this one. I already showed the assistant menu. So if let's say you have a question, okay, so type into the Q&A box, okay, or you can give me 2 questions, okay, before I ended this webinar. Okay, so far, okay, you need to put 1 question or maybe not on this topic, maybe the other topic. Okay, available to email us or email to me nor.sulawati@bizit.com. Okay. Okay, so if let's say you have one more know about this, okay, about Minitab statistical software or about this topic, I highly recommend you to join our training. Okay, since this webinar, I just show how to run it, and then maybe I just show the key you will get on this one. So if let's say, let's say you want more on this one, I share the link, or maybe you can scan barcode here to get more on this info in this training. So this one is a training level 1, consists of what I showed just now, but more comprehensive one. Okay, so why we need to, maybe your question is something like, why we need to choose the K rather than the feature, something that one, when you want to using the feature or something. So that one is if let's say all that thing, maybe you can email me, or maybe you need to join our training purpose. Okay. Okay, I think I answered this one question, and the rest I will email to you after this. So would like to know if parallelogram is not available in Minitab 80. Parallelogram is available for Minitab 20 and above. So we need to say that 2021. Okay. So for the calogram. Okay. So for others question, I will email to you after this. I think it's a way already rushing. Okay, this one. But no worries if let's say you have others question. So feel free to email me. Okay, or email bizit.com. Okay, so the Minitab at bizit.com. So thank you your time and attention. Okay, to learn more about the Minitab, we highly recommend you join our training. If let's say for this topic, so for the training one, okay, for other topics, maybe go for further. So please contact us by visit our website www.minitab.com to see more others product or so on. And then maybe you have a question about the tools itself, how to run it. So you can email the Minitab at bizit.com to get some 3 or tips on our Minitab product. Please follow us through media social like Facebook and link at Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. To access back our previous webinar, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. So really appreciate if you fill out our survey in order to enhance our webinar session. So happy learning. Thank you.